This will be a love reading. I don't know what will result in this spread, but I do know I was hearing the words to Babyface's Whip Appeal, and especially the line where he says, somebody told me there was trouble at home because we never talk a lot when we spend time alone. So how was I supposed to know that something was wrong? Because we have a way to communicate. It keeps a happy home. So with that line, I was thinking also about having autism and how being nonverbal or less verbal can sometimes be tricky, especially if it's a neurodivergent one partner and the other partner is not. They communicate, they talk freely. It's just part of, they're comfortable with that. And how that can affect the relationship, because you as a nonverbal or less verbal are not comfortable with that. Your language is more maybe touch, maybe more telepathic, maybe more heart, action, doing for. And a lot, you don't understand why all of the emphasis on the verbal, especially when a lot of times people say things they don't mean, or they embellish, or they overpromise. So with that, let's see what this spread brings up. I don't know why I had those thoughts and why that song came to me or why it traveled in that area. We will see. Irreconcilable differences, divorce. Wow. I was not expecting that. Could lead to divorce, that misunderstanding. If one partner doesn't understand that communication verbally is as important to the other one, or why is it that important, and the other one mistaking the lack of verbal communication to be that you don't care, that you just don't want to talk about the issues. And the more you talk about it verbally, pushing the other one away who is more nonverbal and doesn't really want to talk about it verbally anyway. They rather do something about it, nip it in the bud, but not really go on and on and on about the issues, and complaining can lead to divorce, misunderstanding. Triggers, name, card, place. Maybe these moments are triggered when there is an issue, let's say over the budget, or over vacations and where to go, just anything concerning the family, or plans, future plans. It can become an issue because someone with autism or that's neurodivergent may assume you understand, that you are on the same page, that you telepathically picked up on what's next or what they have in mind. But no, you need everything outlined and explained in detail and going over in meetings. And so yeah, that can be an issue, and that can trigger arguments or misunderstandings. I'm glad to see this card come out, but then there's love, right? Whether you speak it, it's a feeling, so you don't have to speak it. It's there between two people. So adore, admire, enchantment. That's the glue, really, that's holding a couple together, not the words. It's the feeling, the respect, the admiration. Denial, not facing truth, irrational, and reasoning. Maybe this is a truth that is not accepted by someone who's not neurodivergent, someone who can't comprehend your way of thinking, your way of being. they're used to everyone else that's normal. So they deny that you don't want to talk just because, you know, your reasons for not wanting to hash it out all the time. They deny your valid feelings about verbal communication. They may even deny that neurodivergency is an issue, or that is a way of life. I won't say issue, but that it is your way. They may think, well, maybe you're just not trying hard enough. Threatened, embarrassed, appearances. Wow. That could be an issue. Now we're going to more than just communication, verbal versus nonverbal. Now we're going into how do things look to my friends, to my colleagues, you know, my family when we go to dinner. You are different, and it may be obvious that you are a unicorn, that you are different, and maybe they feel threatened. They're not as secure in who they are to be arm in arm with someone who's different. They feel like you need to fit in. Well, you don't fit in. So that may mean that they need someone who is, not average, but fits in with the norm, shows up, represents accordingly, if you will. It's a choice they have. Today, now, live in the moment, live in the present. Yeah, they have to think about what do they want. And you too, you have to think about what's more important to you. This constant struggle of trying to fit in and be somebody you're not to make someone else happy, or live with their complaints at times and sensing their frustration that you are not like them. And for the person who's not neurodivergent, if this is you collective, you know, that back and forth, loving this person 100%. But when it comes to the social scene or what others think, it's not D&D. So you have a choice, but you need to be fair. If you're going to be with someone, you have to be proud of them around everyone or in private. They deserve that. Plug, tuned, internet connected. I'm thinking research when I saw the word internet, maybe become more educated about neurodivergency and autism or ADHD or whatever your partner is, you know, whatever lifestyle that they have or way of thinking that they have. You may want to immerse yourself in that community, at least read about it. If not, go to groups and stuff like that. At least read about it. And instead of just taking her word or his word for it, that way it's not you. You would have more an objective view on it that way, instead of you know, this is my person, this is Sandy. And Sandy, I know Sandy, you're not like that. Or it's like that kind of thing sometimes. But when you read about it, you say, oh, wow, that is why I see that she does that. I see, oh, it becomes more, you become more informed that way, I think. One more. Interlude, pause, timing factor. Yeah, maybe just pause. Maybe pause the relationship, pause the communication until you get more informed, or until you think about how you want the relationship to move forward. Okay. Let's get a few tarot cards on this. Justice, being fair, being fair. Both partners, being fair to the other, being fair to yourself, and coming to a real understanding of what what you need to do, how you need to move forward. Three of Cups, and hopefully celebrate. You know, after you get through this once and for all, it could be the elephant in the room. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to completely open up the floor on this issue. Open it up, deal with it, and then be glad that you did. Strength in the Tower, a strong Tower moment. If you embrace things, you know, embrace life and how it needs to be moving forward, however you two decide, there can be something that really changes everything and strengthens your relationship in the long run. That I am sure. And I can't ignore my homemade deck at the bottom, at the top here, because it's turned upward. Gentle flow. Consider being flexible and wisely yielding rather than resisting the changes. Graceful moves. Yeah. Being gentle with each other. Gentle on yourself. Honest. Even if you have, nobody's perfect. Maybe you have, what's the word I'm looking for? Judgments. Maybe you discriminate. Say it. There's no use in keeping it under the lid. Say, like, you know, this is how I feel about this. I don't feel right, you know, around others when you're this way, but this is your way, you know. Just be upfront. I love you, you know, but this is how I feel. It's time to be vulnerable, in other words, but gentle. Definitely not rude, not offensive. Is a way to say how you feel without being rude. That's what I have on this one, and I'm glad it came up. It needs to be addressed. It's not really spoken about much, and it is definitely more prevalent than we think. So thank you for being here, and I will see you next time.